Anthony Fantano talking about a song video performance that has kind of been going viral. So let's check it out.
All right. Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about a very interesting and strange and polarizing musical phenomenon on the internet, a particular singer-songwriter who has been just getting a lot of viral attention lately, especially on platforms such as TikTok. His name is Brendan Abernathy. Apparently, he is a Georgia native, lives currently out in LA, trying to make it as a singer-songwriter. And recently, this clip I'm about to show you of Abernathy performing live a particular track that has just recently been released, the full studio version, Married in a Year. He was performing this track live to a crowd of people surrounding him, and I don't know, maybe you can deduce from seeing it yourself, maybe for the first time, why exactly this performance clip went viral.
You'll be married in a year in the suburbs, with a kid on the way in 3. Convincing yourself you're living the American dream. And I'll be dancing out in California. Kid who got it all wrong. Convincing myself one day I'll write a love song.
Now, as you can see,
This is this new trend of like people popping up in places. I think Lorde did it. I think Charlie XX did it. Obviously, this guy did it. I think Will Smith just recently did it, just popping up to a place, telling people to bring out their phones and to film them do a live video recording of a live performance of whatever song. Needs to die. Like, that whole trend needs to die. Very rarely does it ever work out well or to the degree that people want. And with the new age of social media and like not being able to control how you are viewed or how that performance is being recorded or presented, it rarely turns out well. And this is one of the worst examples of that. And I just think that whole entire trend, unless you are just that degree of an artist that you can just pull up anywhere like that, I think this trend needs to die.
see there, that was actually, in fact, quite something. The vibrato, the salute, the tippy toes, and then also the dancing out in California bit as well. And there are multiple angles of this performance, sort of flooding short form platforms.
Exactly. Like I said, when you have just a crowd, anybody filming, it's just not going to be flattering. It's just not going to be flattering.
People are collecting and posting different video footages of this man like he's Bigfoot. There's even a full performance angle 3 version of this video, which in my opinion is the most poetic and toughest watch. Not only because in the start of the video, Brendan seems to be confused about the key of his own song and sort of needs help finding out exactly how to sing it.
You'll be married. Nate, can you help me out, please? Can't find the key. Married in a year. There you go. You'll be married in a year in the suburbs.
Shout out to Nate.
Look, I mean, shout out to him for his authenticity and just bearing it out there, raw, real, in the moment. Shout out to him for that, because that is not an easy thing to do. But that shit is fucking crazy and embarrassing that you still posted it. But again, shout out to him for being confident enough. I'll say that, confident enough to go out there and present this in the rawest form possible. Clearly, no rehearsal, no preparation. I will give him props for that. It did not turn out well, but I will give him props for that. That is
helping him
crazy.
do that. But also there's some dude in the crowd who, when Brendan makes reference to dancing out in California, says, where we are?
Dancing out in California. Yeah, right where you are.
I'm like, some things just need to stay between you and your fans. You and your fans. I'm sure for your fans, or whatever fans he is, because I'm not, knowledgeable about this person, but I'm sure for the people that were there, it was an enjoyable experience. It was dope to see an artist that they probably like in person and just raw and real in the moment. But some things just need to stay between you and that person. And just, this is not it.
Yeah, man, where you guys are. But you know what? Brendan's songs are so filled with passion and fire and heartbreak, you can't help but want to get involved. Okay, but look, seriously, the point of this video is not to come on here and crap on Brendan or crap on people who might actually be into his music. I actually want to take this opportunity to say that while on one level, I'm sure it is true that Brendan is getting the sort of attention and traffic he has always wanted.
Again, I'm kind of shitting on him because I do think this is a horrible look and just cringy and corny as fuck. But aside from the fact that clearly he's been getting shot and people are going to make jokes of, it worked. Like, it low-key worked. The point was to go viral and to get attention and to bring attention to your song and to your music and whatever. It worked. And you know that age-old saying, like, all press is good press, even if it's bad. I mean, it was so bad and so cringy that you got on a massive channel like Needle Drop and Fantano talking about it, and me out here reacting to it. And in addition to the countless memes and video reactions it's probably gotten. So as much as I want to shit on this performance and everything that he did, because it is bad, it is terrible across the board, it worked. It broke through. So as much as I'm like, please, this needs to stop, it's only going to continue to happen because it worked. It made him viral.
Wanted for his music. Simultaneously, I feel like on some level he is a bit of a victim of the algorithm here, because short form platforms like TikTok have a kind of knack for sometimes taking some of the worst and most embarrassing moments of people's lives, taking them out of context and presenting them to the exact audiences of people who you would never want to see them. Because, like, in the grander scheme of things, is it...
I mean, yeah, come on. At this point, don't we know social media platforms, they don't recommend things that you generally like. They recommend things well, at least the people that do this, they recommend things to people that they know are probably going to comment and leave a lot of comments and reply, which are typically the people who are going to shit on whatever you just put out there. That's typically how social media goes. They're not going to recommend it to people that might just leave a like or like, oh, that's cool. They're going to recommend it to people that are going to absolutely hate the shit that you just did.
True. Like, do I personally think that Brendan Abernathy's performance here of this song Married in a Year is like a little over the top, maybe a tad bit grating and obnoxious? Are the toes out and the tippy toes stuff a little weird? Yeah, sure. But like, it's not the worst song I've ever heard, and there is certainly an audience out there for this sort of thing. I mean, if you're into artists like, I don't know, Zach Bryan or Noah Khan, and even Taylor Swift, who Brendan says he is a huge fan of, which
just makes sense. That just makes sense.
We will get into that. Yeah, if you're into those artists, I feel like there is something in Brendan's music for you potentially. And it just perplexes me that platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, rather than finding the listeners and the consumers who would actually enjoy Brendan's stuff, it seems like the algorithms on these platforms are more intent to gear people toward his stuff who actually will.
How have we not figured this out now? That is not how social media works. Social media works by presenting your shit to people who are going to hate it and shit on it the most, because that is the most engagement. Unfortunately, that is just how things go. They don't recommend you to pick typically to people that are going to like your stuff, because most people that like your stuff might leave a like or be like, cool song, follow you. That's it. People that genuinely hate what you did are going to let you know it, like to the degree that how online people are, they're going to let you know it. And not only let you know, they're going to let everybody else who commented know it as well. And that is the most engagement most of these viral hits get, is because people hate what they just saw. How have we not figured it out yet? I mean, we have, because there are definitely whole pages and platforms that have figured it out, because they know if I post this is going to get the most toxic reaction, but also get us the most comments, get us the most engagement. And then social media is going to pick up on that and immediately push it even more, because, oh, people are interacting with this. Let's see how far it can go. And like, it just makes me think of that bassist who was jumping to, God, what was the name of that song? it was like maybe a Tame Impala song or something like that. Like he was jumping on the bass line. There was some song that was not deserved to be jumping and going like he was going. Pretty innocent video, but people hated it so much. They tried to bully this man so much that they actually blew him up, and he ended up touring with like this massive, man, I'm going to figure it out because this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Hate it. Now, at the end of the day, in the modern day music industry, I feel like much of the time, any attention is good attention. This guy may in fact end up getting just like hated into a bag. In fact, I would not be surprised if like 1 or 2 years from now, he's like opening up for Taylor Swift, because I mean, after all, he does seem to be really for the girlies. If we take a look at the man's TikTok, he purports to be a lover of fine literature. He also has a whole video post where he explains his singer-songwriter journey, which was very much inspired by Taylor Swift with her music, and seeing her live kind of like reigniting a passion for him when it comes to songwriting.
It is I, the tiptoe white boy singing. I heard Tim McGraw by Taylor Swift on country radio, was floored, went home with an electric guitar, went to Reputation Stadium tour, cried, because I realized I want to connect with people with my music.
And apparently there are segments of this man's audience that view him as an honorary lesbian. Brendan Abernathy, Drake, now 2 of my favorite artists are lesbians.
I hate everything about this. Everything about this. I don't even know this guy, but just from that little 10-second clip, I already don't want to know anything else. I hate this. I legitimately hate this.
So look, while I can't come on here and claim that I myself am not guilty of not really enjoying Brendan's music too much, and also his live performance did get to me as well. But with all of that being said, like the overtly negative reaction to this track and Brendan's performance, I do think is a little outsized. Ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem like Brendan is hurting anybody or doing anything bad. I mean, I don't know the guy. I can only comment on what I see from a distance, but he kind of looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Or at least if he did, he would write a song about it after. And I guess I would like to demystify any allegations that I'm sure have come up or will come up that Brendan is like some kind of totally fabricated industry plant. Because if you dig into his social media, he's been kind of grinding like this for a while, writing songs, recording them, performing them as much as possible, trying to get out as much promo internet stuff out there that he humanly can. This performance and this clip at this moment in time just seems to have been the moment that snagged and caught some sort of audience. I feel like if this guy was like totally controlled and groomed by a label up until this point, we wouldn't.
I mean, he's probably been pushing out a bunch of content, putting out a ton of songs. Actually, he's probably put out some okay music generally, but of course, the one thing that's really going to blow up and really make him viral is the thing that most people hate. That's just how it is. It's going to be the thing that most people hate, and it's the one that's going to be the first impression for the majority of people. And that's just what it is.
And have this huge backlog of moments where he very visibly is like flailing in the wind. Because man, going back into some of these like, you know, in-person public moments where he's trying to get himself out there as a singer-songwriter, social experiment type stuff. Yeah, there's some tough watches in there for sure that I don't think any label would make.
Tougher than that? Tougher than that? I don't know.
An artist of theirs do.
Do you have a favorite artist? XXX. Would I know any of those songs? I'm gonna make it my own.
Fuck it. Remix that shit.
Who am I? Someone afraid to let it go. You decide if you ever let me know.
Just look right here.
Someone afraid to let it go. You decide.
Just that look right there. That sums it up perfectly. Like what the fuck? They thought they were gonna hear like something enjoyable. Just like that pretty much sums up the entire experience I'm having with this guy right now. It's just this look like why? Like, why would you do this?
If you ever let me know, suicide. If I ever let you go, who am I?
And sure, while it
I think that might be worse than the first video. That might be worse than the first video. having him sing XXXTentacion, I think we're probably better. Having him sing XXXTentacion after what we just watched is, as the kids say, diabolical. That was bad.
It is clear that Brendan is approaching this whole thing with maybe more of an advantage that other artists might, who don't possibly have the time or the resources to sort of like be writing and promoting their songs all day. He does still seem to be passionate about what he's doing. And while it's not my personal cup of tea, I think technically speaking, he's a decent singer. And to further bolster this man's clear love for Taylor Swift, a lot of his recent tracks that you can catch on platforms like Apple Music, for example, kind of sound like, I don't know, like in his own head, how would Jack Antonoff produce this? But yeah, it's very dramatic. It's very over the top. It's very hopecore. And I will also...
In other words, it is very...
Derivative.
Like a lot of this poppy singer-songwriter shit that's coming out, it's all Taylor Swift coded, all Jack Antonoff coded, all very just throwaway, forgettable shit. Like, it's like... good for a moment, good for a viral TikTok, good for like a real song, but like just pretty much just garbage. Let's just be real.
Also commend him on the fact that I do think he is handling some of the negative responses quite decently. He recently did a little crossover collab with Kyle Gordon, which, I mean, there were some shots there where I could see the pain in his eyes, like, oh my God, what I've done here has turned into a giant internet meme.
You'll be married in a year in the suburbs.
Oh, fucking day. Bro, like, come on, bro. Of course, I mean, you gotta lean into it. You're going viral. It's getting you attention. But why?
Get on the way.
But still, you have to be at least a little self-aware to engage in that sort of thing.
My whole thing is built on self-deprecation, so I'm actually loving it, loving the memes.
Recently, he also uploaded...
That is said very often by somebody that's is in fact not loving the memes. Is actually not in fact loving what is happening to them. It's just funny when they always say that, yeah, I'm loving this. Like, no, that's typically what is said by somebody who is not enjoying this ride that they're going on. The last thing an artist or musician wants to be is their music becoming a meme. I mean, come on, Rebecca Black Friday, does that ring a bell to anybody? Yes, that was extremely viral, but I don't think she was loving it at the time, that's for sure. Gotta start wondering if you're doing this for the love of music or because he wants to just be... I mean, kind of both. Let's be real, like Mo. If you want to be an artist, you want to be a musician, you do want to be famous. Obviously, you do want people to know your music at least so you can like make a living off of it. So unfortunately, part of it is having some sort of fame, some sort of recognition. And if you love Taylor Swift, that is who he says he loves, you probably do want to be famous because she's obviously massively, massively famous. And if you're willing to be out there, that just out there with what you're doing, yeah, he definitely was trying to be famous. He's also doing it for the music, but he's definitely also doing it for the fame. And let's be real, it's just that the question is, do you want to be what do you want to do? Do you want to write this music? Do you want to write this song to the point that you become a meme and that becomes your whole identity? Or can you somehow flip this into actual career and like have people actually genuinely interested in like listening to your music? That'd be the real question. But I think there's definitely someone doing it purely to be famous. Yeah, absolutely. 1000%. 1000%. There's definitely a big difference. I don't know enough about him to say if he's doing this purely to be famous. But when you're doing shit like posting videos you sing XXXTentacion and specifically pointing out the faces of the people that are listening to your shit, knowing, yeah, this ain't hitting, this ain't it. And then having the confidence, let's say that, to put out a video where you are singing in a crowd of people this very nebulous kind of song and asking, like, you just know he knows what he's might be going viral and he's truly leaning into like trying to be viral. And this seemed to be the one that hit, and very rarely will they be able to turn into an actual career like that. to the degree that they want, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Uploaded a response to my reaction to his song.
Ah, God, stop.
I mean, again, he knew it. He made it. He got viral. He got to the point where he got on a platform as big as Fantano. And what did he do? He used it to his advantage for his marketing, for his whatever, which is smart, which was advisable. What I would do if I was in the label, I was like, yeah, you got to use this. But there's a point. There's a fine line between becoming a meme and actually people having interested in your music. Yes, Rebecca Black, Friday, was extremely popular, extremely viral, extremely famous when she came out because of how bad it was. But she tried to lean into meme too hard and try to go along with the joke too much that she in herself became a joke for a long time. And this is very, very treacherous road he's on.
A response to my reaction to his song.
Ah, God, stop.
Oh, dang. Since he doesn't like it, I guess I'll just quit.
And you'll be married in a year in the suburbs, with a kid on the way in 3, convincing yourself you're living the American dream. And I'll be dancing out in California, just a kid who got it all wrong.
I mean, what do they say? They always say, all press is good press. Bad press is still good press. You're still getting talked about. Yeah, to a degree. Absolutely. Like, I would never know who this artist was probably in my life if it wasn't for this video and for this reaction by one Anthony Fantano, which I'm sure a lot of people out there are also in that same boat. If you did not go viral with what you're doing, you would not be known probably to a large majority of people. But because you went as viral as you did for something that is that cringy and corny and that just like almost rage inducing, let's be real, you are now known. The question now is, do you want to be a meme? Do you want to be a joke? Or do you actually want your music to stand for itself? Like, because that's going to be a hard switch to flip right there. But it could work. Could not. But again, shout out to him for having the confidence to go out there, not only record it and do that, but to post it. Because that was objectively was a horrible watch.